Hey everyone, Danny Cronson here with another lesson on the chromatic harmonica for you. And today we're going to learn C major, which is, in my opinion, probably the best place to start off. It has no sharps or flats, and it's pretty easy to play on the chromatic harmonica. So without much further ado, let's get right into it. All right, so our first note is going to be C, and we get that by blowing into the one hole. Second note is D. We get that by drawing into the one hole. Third note is E. We get that by blowing into the second hole. We draw on the second hole for F. Go up to the third hole and blow for G. Draw for A. Now we're going to go up to the fourth hole and draw in. And we can blow out on the fourth hole for C. But you'll notice you can also blow out on the fifth hole for C. Right? So all in all, the next thing that I would work on learning is the arpeggios inside of the scale. Quite simply, arpeggios are thirds stacked on top of each other. So that means you're skipping a note in between every other one. So if your scale is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, you're going to play C, skip D, E, skip F, G, skip A, B. So you get C, E, G, B, and then we're back at the root, C. So now taking that same pattern that we learned of skipping notes, we're going to apply it to a new starting point, and that alone will teach us all of the arpeggios in this scale. I prefer this method where I give the student the concept, but instead of spoon feeding them the actual way to play it, I give you the concept and you figure it out at home. That, I believe, is a much sounder way to learn this. So I'm going to go through them here. Another thing I'd like to take some time to talk about is trills. Trills are essentially where you just hit the slide real quick, kind of like this, and you'll get a trill effect. So that is me doing just a slide in and out on the 1 and 3 holes, blowing in and out. And it doesn't sound great if you just sit on it, but if you throw it in there, so it's a finesse thing. It's kind of something that you'll have to mess around with on your own, but it adds a lot of kind of spice to your lines if you can use it at the right time in the right place. And remember, there is no right or wrong. It's really just whatever your ear thinks sounds good. Okay, now for this final part of the video, I'd like to talk about two things. One is how the scale essentially just repeats itself all the way across the harmonica, which I'll demonstrate. And another is then we'll go through the scale in thirds. So here is the demonstration of just repeating the pattern that we learned all the way up. That last note really didn't want to come out. Sometimes that last reed gets a little sticky, but yeah, so you'll see that the C major scale in particular has 3 full octaves on here, and you can get it all. Depending on certain keys, you won't be able to get the full 3-octave scale, but that's something that you can discover. So now we'll go through it in thirds, which is very simply just going C, E, D, F, E, G, so on and so forth. I'm going to demonstrate that right here. So C, E, D, F, E, G, F, A, G, B, A, C. kind of splice those thirds into your lines, and you'll come up with something pretty cool.